Hello everyone, welcome back to Pictorial Innovations, and if you are new here, a warm welcome to you as well. In this video, we are creating two simple and minimal flyer designs, one for our usual new month design and the second for Nigerian Independence. It's going to be a quick one. Remember that new month designs for each new month will always be posted here to inspire you and the PLP file to ease you from the stress of having to redesign. However, remember that one of the ways to grow your skills is to practice and learn more. So use the PLP file sparingly and do more of designing from scratch. That's why I'm making these well-explained videos so as to help you. You know, I can just drop the PLP file, but for those who wants to grow their skill more, you have the process to learn one or two. So if you are yet to subscribe to this channel, kindly pause this video, subscribe and click on the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And if you learn anything from this video, don't forget to like, comment and share with your friends. So without any further ado, let's get started. So the first thing we want to do in PixelLab is to create a new canvas. Now, as usual, I usually go to this fourth tab here, this fourth guy here, to change my size. I usually use 3840 by 3840. You all know why? So that I can have a crisp and high quality export. Now, I usually get this question that must I change my size before I start designing? Actually, you don't need to change your size before you design, but I usually do that because I might forget by the time I want to export. There are two ways to do it. You can change now or you can change when you want to export. So I'm leaving this size like this so that I can show you how to change it when you want to export so that you can have high quality, and by the time you start sending it on WhatsApp or any other platform, it won't lose quality. So let me use 1280 by 1280, which is the default size from PixelLab. So we have this. So the first thing we want to do is to import our image. So go to this third guy here from this fourth guy. So go to this third guy and go to import. Click on import and locate your image. All the images, all the resources I used in this video are linked in the description. So if you want to follow along, you can just go there and download the resource file. Yeah, this is the image you want to use. I'm using this image because I feel like using it actually. You can get another image. I will show you another image. If you stick to this video, I will show you another image and I'll drop it in the description. If you want another expression, actually I love this expression, that's why I'm using it. There's other expression of a lady, an African lady sitting on the chair with an excitement expression. So if you want that, I will link in the description, then you can download it and use it for your design. So without doing anything, we can just crop this empty place like this by just dragging and putting it here. Then you can click OK. So we have this like this, so we can just increase it like this, or you can go to relative size here. Under this third guy, go to relative size, then increase it to 100. You still have the same thing. So let's click OK and bring this guy down. Let's bring it down like this. So I think I'm okay with it here. So now I want to increase the brightness and contrast of this image so that it can blend with the white background a bit. So click on it, because if you're not clicking on it, you won't have the options. Click on it, then go to color filters. So let's change the saturation to something like this. I think 2 or 3 is okay. So let's change the brightness to something like this. As you are changing it, be checking to see you're not overdoing things. So then let's change the contrast to maybe, I think 9 is okay. So then when you're done, you click OK. So you can go to where you manage your layer. This is where you manage your layer, and lock it with this padlock icon. Lock it in place so that you don't mistakenly move it from where you positioned your image. So the next thing we want to do is to create a rectangle here. This is where we write our probably contact details and wherever we have to write there. So let's go to this third guy here, shapes, and we can now create whatever it is we want to create here. So we can have it like this. So and change the color. So you can actually pick a color from this lady's dress. How do you do that? This is where you change your color. Click on this plus sign. If you want to pick a color from the model dress, you can click on this guy. This is color picker. Click on it. Then you select the image from here. Then you can pick any color from the dress. You can pick any color from the dress. But I have a color code. If I pick any color, you'll be seeing, as I'm clicking, you are seeing it here. But I have a color code, so I'm not picking any color from that because I already picked the color that I liked. Then I have the code. So how do I input the code? You use this second guy here. This is where you edit the color code. You edit it here. So let's use FFD105. Then you hit check mark and OK. Then you have the color. Then you can click OK. So we have something like this. So I want to reduce the size of this. I want to have something like this. So if you're okay with it, you can just click OK. Go to where you manage your layer and lock it in place also. So the next thing I want to bring is another rectangle here. So I want to bring another rectangle here. So go to shape. Let's bring another rectangle. So we have something like this. So let's change the color. So I want to pick a color from this chair. I want to pick a color from this chair so that we can have color harmony. So you click on this plus sign, like I said, go to color. Then you can pick color from here anyhow. But I already picked the color. Then I have my color code. So let me input my color code 545B6D. Click on check mark before you click on OK. Then click OK. OK. So we have something like this. Can you see how cool it is? So click on this. Let me shift it up a bit. So we have something like this. So the next thing I want to bring is the pattern. I want to bring a pattern here just to give it a different view. You can leave it here like this. It's actually making sense, but I want to add a seamless pattern there just to make it more sweet. So let's go to import. You have everything in the resource file that I dropped in the description, so you can just download it. So go to import. So this is the seamless pattern. So you can just click OK. Then is either you drag it from here or you go to relative size, then increase it to 100. You have something like this. So let's bring it down like this. Want to bring it here. So we have it here. Let me use my position to shift it up. So we have something like this. So I want to click on it and change the color because it's too bright. So go to color, enable the color, then click on this plus sign to input your color code or to pick any color from the color spectrum. I'm using 2F, 4F. Okay. So we have something like this. Can you see? So we have something like this. So you can lock them in place like this. So we are getting there. So the next thing we want to write is our text. So I said this tutorial will be a quick one because it's simple and minimal flyer. We don't want to go over about this time. So go to where you write your text, then click on text. You have something like this here. Then double tap on it, then edit it. So I want to write, it is with a relaxed mind I welcome you all to the new month of. So let us stop it like this and click OK. So we have something like this. So I want to go to font where I change my font. Then I want to go to my font. These are defaults. If you go to font here, these are default fonts from PixelLab, and these are my fonts. So if you want to know how to install fonts, your personal font, watch the video that is showing at the top right corner of your video. So let's look for Poppins. Poppins regular. I'm using Poppins regular, but not everything. I'm not using Poppins regular for all this text. So, but from I welcome you all to the new month of, I want to use another font. So how do we select it? You see these two guys here. This is what you use to control it. But so far we are using I welcome you all to the new month. So we only drag this guy here to deselect the other ones that are not applicable. So I've selected only I welcome you all to the new month of. Now I can change it to Poppins semi-bold. So then you click OK. So you have something like this. So I want to change the size. Go to size. I want to change the size to something like this. 15 or 16 is fine. Then I want to increase this. I want it to be on straight line. Then if you want to make sure it is centralized, you can go to relative position and click on this guy. Then you have something like this. So you can shift it up a bit because we still want to write something else there. So we want to write our October. So go to text again, double tap, then change it to October. Hit OK, bring it here. So let's go to font again, my font. Then let's use Bibas. This is Bibas. We have Bibas here, so we can then increase it like this. Now the spacing here is too much, like the spacing. I just want to change the spacing. So this is the spacing. Let's decrease it a bit. Let's give it like -4. I think -4 is fine. So let's increase the size a bit like this. You can go to size to check what you're doing. You can increase it like this depending on how you want it. So, but if it's too big, you can go back there and let's change it to 240. And then 240 is fine like this, because I don't want it to go beyond the chair, so as to make it balanced. So let's make sure it is centralized like this. Cool. So the next thing you want to do is to duplicate this. So duplicate this and bring it here. Bring it here. Make sure it is aligned. Yeah, it's it. Cool. So then you want to go to where you manage your layer and bring this one you just copied, bring it behind your image. How am I bringing it? Let me show you. You see this dot. Click and hold. By the time you click and hold, it will shrink. That means you've selected it. Then you start dragging. Then you bring it behind whatever layer you want to bring it behind. So we have something like this. You can actually leave the color like this or change the color to give it contrast. So I click on it, then I go to color. Then I pick the color I chose for this rectangle so as to have my design unified. So I'll just click on this yellow. So I have something like this. So what I want to do now, I want to sheet both the two Octobers. I want to sheet them to go behind the model a bit. How do I pick the two together? Go to where you manage your layer, then click on this select icon, click on it, look for the first October. This is the first October and this is the second October. Click on this edit, click on this guy. This is position, this is relative, this is relative position, and this is but we need the position icon. This is it. Click on the position icon, go to this side and bring it down a bit like this. So I think it's okay. Click OK. Then that means this guy has to go behind the model as well. So you know how we did the first one. Click on it, go to where you manage your layer, and click on this guy to bring it behind R. So we have something like this. Our October is ready. So can I bring this guy to them? So let's bring this guy. So we have this guy here. It is with a relaxed mind. I welcome you all to the new month of October. So the next thing you want to do is to bring your logo. So go to where you import and import your logo. So here's my logo. So I'll just click OK. Then I can change the position, the size from here. I can just use maybe 4. I can just use 4, then bring it here. So I want to make sure it is centralized, so I'll go to relative position and make sure it is centralized. So I have something like this. So the next thing I want to do is to bring in because I already designed my handles, so I'll just import it as PNG. So in order not to waste our time, because we still have another thing to do, so I'll go to import and import it. But if you don't have your own exported, you can just design it just to place your icon. You can watch my previous video and see how I did it, so that you can do your own too. But I have it already, I'll just import it. So here is it. So I want to crop it like this so that it's not looking too big. So I have it here like this, but I want to change the color. So I want to go to color and change the color to something like this, the color that I picked for this seamless pattern. So I have something like this. So I want to make sure it is centralized, so like this. Then I want to create short rectangle here just to give it another feel. Click OK. Create shape. You see how I created shape? Sorry, I was going too fast because we still have the second design to do. So click on shape and bring this one down like this. Bring it down like this. Then you hit OK. So you can choose the color. You can change the color, but I'm using white. That's why I didn't change the color. So I want to use white. So I have something like this. I can click on it, duplicate it, and bring it here. Yeah, it is easier for me to bring. Let me copy again. You see it here. Anything you copy goes to the left corner of your design. So it's easier for me to bring from here this tiny thing, because I have a mouse connected to my smartphone with an OTG device. But if you are using your hand to move objects, you can as well zoom in to pick, or if you want to zoom in, so just click on this guy, then you zoom in to see whatever it is you want to pick, then click OK. So, or you use the position, increase the speed, then start moving your things. But because I'm using mouse, it is faster. So we have something like this. Make sure it is aligned. So here is it. Can you see it's giving it a different feel? Now I want to move all these things together so that it can be centralized. So go to where manage your layer. Remember, select this, then click on this 3 line I just created and the one I imported. Click on edit, click on position, then bring them down a bit like this. So we have something like this. It's actually fine like this. So I just want to create another view. So go to shape, change it to circle, then let's use the yellow color again. Then we have something like this. So let's take it behind, so behind the model. So you can drop it here or anywhere that feels like it. Then you can duplicate it, so you bring it here. So I have something like this here too, just to give it a different feel. You can as well take it behind or anywhere you want to put it, but I just want to drop it here. And unless you don't like it, you can just delete it, but I'll just drop it there. So now the last thing I want to add is an overlay pattern. So go to import and import the overlay. So here is the overlay. So I can just choose one by one so that I don't have to start cropping when I import it. So click OK, then you can go to relative size and increase it to 100. So you have something like this. Then go to erase color and enable it. By the time you enable it, it will erase all the whites there. Then if it doesn't erase all the white, you can just click on this guy and pick the white yourself. So but it has erased the white. So click OK and go to opacity here. Click on the opacity, then change it to 20 or so. Just make sure it's not too much. So by the time you change it, click OK, then you can lock it in place. Then you have your design like this. Any other thing you want to do to it, maybe you take it to snatch it, or you want to add any other elements or any text, maybe like happy months or something, you can find a way to write it there. But we have our design like this and it's cute. So for those people that don't know how to save, so you can go to this guy here and save as project, so that by the time you want to come back and make any changes, maybe your clients needs to change some things, click on save project, then you can save it as maybe October flyer design or something, anything. Click OK. So now that you have saved as project, you can come back at any time. So by the time you go to this 4th tab here, you click on this guy, then you can see the October flyer. By the time you click on it, you'll be able to make changes to it. Then now if you want to save as image, like I said the first time, so go to this save again, go to save as image. Now this is where the trick happens. Don't save as default. I'll show you 2 ways to save. Is either you go to default and change it to ultra, because you didn't change, remember, because you did not change the document size. If I had changed the document size where I usually change it to 3840 by 3840, you won't need the ultra because the size is more than ultra. But because I use lower resolution, which is 1280 by 1280, that's why I'm either changing it to ultra or I'm changing it to custom. Then I'll write 3840 by 3840 so that I can have a high quality flyer. Then you save to gallery. So it will render the image, then it's done. So let's go on to the next one, which is the Nigerian Independence simple and minimal flyer design. Let's move. So the first thing you want to do is to let's go down and create a blank canvas so that we can have a plain sheet. So then go to this 4th guy. Let's change our size. So let's change our size to something like 3840 by 3840 so that we can have something large. Click OK. So we have something like this. So the first thing you want to do is to create a rectangle here. So go to this 3rd guy here, click on shapes. So let's have something like this here. So you can do it anyhow you want to do it. Then let's change the color. Where do you change the color? On this guy, click on plus sign. Then you see this guy here. You can pick any color from this color spectrum here, but I have a color code. So click on this pen tool, click on it. Then let's edit the color code 007618. Click on this guy, click OK. OK. The next thing you want to do is create something like curved shape here. So you can just go to Bezier tool here. Go to Bezier tool, then you can just create anything. I believe you all know how to use Bezier tool. If you don't know how to use Bezier tool, you can watch the video that is showing at the top right corner of your screen to master Bezier tool in PixelLab. So I just want to create anything at all. So I just want to click here, then click on this 2nd guy to move things. So I want to move things here like this. So just create anything at all. Then you move it like this. Then I want to click on this guy to cover everything like this. So let me move this to come here. So we have something like this. So you can now change the color. So because if you don't click on this guy here to connect the anchor point, you cannot change the color. So now we can change the fill color. I want to remove the stroke. Then I want to go to this guy, click on this guy, then click on edit code. Then let's input 084D0D. Then click on this guy, and click on this guy. So we have this, but look at this transparent. In case your transparent is on 0, change it to 100, then click OK. So you have something like this. So click OK. So we have this. Now I want to rotate it like this and increase it like this. So we have something like this. So I want to lock it in place. So the next thing I want to do is to import my image background, just to blend an image here. So go to import and import the image like this. So you can click on this crop tool. You can choose any crop tool you want, but I'm choosing this because I'm working with a square layout. So click on this and click OK. Then you can change to 100. So I have something like this. So click OK. Then let's change the opacity to something like this. Let's use 15. 15 is actually fine. Click OK. Then go to where you manage your layer and lock it in place like this. So then go to shape. Let's create shape like this. Click OK. Then we want to rotate it like this. Then move it here. Let's increase it. So let's move it here like this. So then you can go to where you manage your layer and lock it in place. So we have this one ready. So the next thing we want to do is to import our flag. So let's import our Nigerian flag. Go to import. So import the flag. Use the flag. So let's click OK. So we have something like this. If you notice this part, we need to clean this part so that it doesn't disrupt our design. So click on this guy, then go to eraser. Go to eraser, increase the size. You can increase the softness as well. Then you clean this part that we saw the other time. Clean this part. We don't want to have any edgy image. Then click OK. So can you see the edgy image is gone? So we have something like this here. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is to go to color filters. So we want to enhance the the flag a bit. So let's change the hue to something like this. Then maybe the saturation we can change to something like this. Brightness. Be looking at your image to see what you are doing. So let's increase this to 2 and maybe this to something like this. Something like this is bright and okay. So let's hit OK. So we have something like this. So go to import and import the PNG. So this is the official Nigerian Independence 63 logo. So you can crop it and bring it in like this. So let's decrease it like this. Let's decrease it like this and bring it here. So I want to change the opacity to 90 so as to blend in a bit. So we have something like this. It's cool. So click on it and lock it in place so that you don't mistakenly move any of them from where you place them. So the next thing I want to create is a rectangle where we write our number here. Go to where you you create your shape. Then let's shrink it down a bit. And bring it here like this. So you can use the same color you used for this guy here, and this is it here. So this is the color. Click OK. Then you can go to relative position to make sure it is centralized, right? So this is it. Now I want to write my number and handle and everything. I've written it one of my designs before, so I don't want to waste your time. So I already exported this as PNG, so I'll just import it. But if you want to know how to place those designs, the icon and the number, you can watch one of my previous videos to see how it's done. So go to import. So this is it here. So I'll just crop it here like this. So I'll just bring it here. So I have them here like this. So I have them here like this. So the next thing we want to write is independence. So go to text and let's write our independence. Independence. Okay. Now this is it. Let's change the color to white. Change the color to white. Then let's change the font. Go to font and let's use Poppins extra bold. Click OK. So let's change the size to maybe, let's do 53. So let's drop it here. So make sure it is centralized like this. So the next thing you want to do is to click on it, duplicate it, bring it here. Make sure it is aligned. Then change the opacity to 50. Copy it again, bring it here. Make sure it is aligned. You can use the position tool to set it if you are unable to set it. Then let's change the opacity to, let's change to 25. Then duplicate again, bring it here. You can use the position like I said, just to make sure it's aligned. Then let's change the opacity to 5 or 10. Okay, so let's do 5. I think 5 is cool. So let's do 5. So you can then go to where you manage your layer. This is the first one, just leave it. So click on this select icon, select the 3 independent you what's it called, copied. 1, 2, 3. Then let's match them. Click on this guy and match them. So you have them in one place like this. So you have this and you have this. So the next thing you want to write is your happy. So go to text, bring it here, double tap, then let's change it to happy. So click OK. Then let's go to fonts, my font, go to Poppins regular. So I'm using regular. So I want to change the size. Let me change the size to let me use 15. Then I want to change the color to white. Then I want to change the spacing. Let me go to spacing and change it to 100 all the way up. Actually, if I see more than 100, I'll use. So click on centralized from the relative position just to make sure it is centralized. Then you can bring it down. You can bring it down like this. So you can bring it down like this. We have something like this. And bring it up a bit. So the next thing you want to write is your day, like Independence Day. So we want it to be dramatic actually. So let's click on text, double tap, then let's write day. So this is it. So let's go to where we change our font. My fonts, we want to change it to orthographia. Click OK. Okay, so we have something like this. But if you notice, now let me change this color to go to my plus, go to this plus sign, click on edit, then let's input the color code DAFFB0. Click on this check mark and click OK. Okay, so we have something like this. So if you notice, PixelLab has cut some of the part of this font, so it's not showing the full beauty of the font. So if you actually want to use it like this, you can use it like this if you want to, but I'm not using it like this. So I'll click on it, then I'll go to leading. Then I'll go to padding. So click on padding and increase the padding till you start seeing the full beauty of the font. Make sure there's space here, there's space here, to make sure it's giving you the full beauty of your font. So it's actually happened to cursive fonts like this. It's not only orthographic font. So go to relative position and make sure it is centralized. So you have something like this. So let's click on this guy. Now let's go to shadow. Let's go to shadow, enable the shadow, decrease the opacity to 14. The blur radius is 0. Go to this plus sign, change it to black, then change the transparency. You can reduce your transparency to about 38. Now as I'm changing it, you can see this guy is changing. So you can change it to maybe 38. So then let's offset it by 7. 37 is cool. And maybe this one 1. Okay, so we have something like this. Now this our day is covering our our API. So we can just increase it and move it up a bit like this. So we have something like this. So the next thing we want to write is our October 1st. So you can go to where you manage your layer and lock all these things in place so that you don't mistakenly move them, like I usually say. So let's write October 1st. October 1st. So let's change the font to Poppins regular, and change the size to 16. It's okay. Then let's change the color to this same column. This is it here. Then click OK. Then let's change the spacing to 100 as well. So let's place it here. You can place it here. So we have something like this. You can change the size if you want. You can change it to maybe 15 and make sure it's not too small. If it's too small, you can increase it and make sure it is aligned. So we have something like this. So the next thing you want to do is to import your logo. So go to import. So this is my logo. So I just want to put it here. So let me just put it here. So I just want to add a few things. Go to in case your logo is like mine. So actually I just want to add shadow to my logo. I want to change it to black. This is black. The blur radius like this, and I'll just offset it by 2. So I have something like this. But if your own is not like that, you don't need to add it. So let me decrease the opacity a bit. So I have something like this. So if you want to save, you can click on this guy, save as project. Then you can save it as maybe Nigerian Independence or something, anything at all, so that by the time you want to come back and make any adjustment, you'll be able to make it. And if you want to save it as image, you go to this guy here again, save as image. Because we have used high resolution already, we don't need to change anything here. So just choose save to gallery and you are good to go. That's it, guys. If you want to stay updated with the latest smartphone graphic design tips and tricks, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and click on the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload new videos. Keep nurturing your creativity and let's continue this artistic journey together. Until next time, stay creative.